YouTube Cole Spivey.
Yeah, man. So Under Your Spell by Desire, Tick of the Clock by Chromatics, which David Lynch likes, and Refn does too. Refn used the Chromatics in Drive, and yeah, Tick of the Clock is in it, and that's a very important part in the very beginning when he's helping the criminals run from not only the law but helicopters and get them safely to the stadium where they can blend in and escape. And that does happen, and he times everything perfectly because he's the driver that can get anywhere. Give me like 5 minutes or something like that, and I can get you to your destination without any problems at all, kind of thing. Look at that sunset right there, if you can see it. Oh, barely. Oh, barely. There it is. Anyway, Desire's in it. Chromatics is in it. And then Night Call is by this great name of this band. Night Call is a cool one too, which I'm listening to right now. I'm listening to the soundtrack right now. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, there they are. The Shop, the Live. The psychology behind putting Shop first is interesting because it's very, not only commercial, but then there's Live, which is what we have to do, and then, of course, Walk, which is cook, some type of Chinese food. Then Golf, and then Stay. But I think that Walk was actually supposed to be work, but eventually the Stay is the, anyway. And Night Call is by Kavinsky, which is also in the soundtrack of Drive. Check out Drive. It's probably the next one I'm going to buy, maybe. I'll have to figure it out. Cows everywhere, and not a drop to chew on.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Got it. Well, vlog almost over. Alright, R2 is going to speak up here pretty soon, or at least the female voice version of R2. Alright, so R2 is going to speak up here pretty soon, or at least the female version of R2. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, so we got some traffic, or not traffic, but construction. It was speaking up, but then the Bluetooth kicked in, it cut it off, and there was technical problems, and you can't really see it, or you can't hear it. You can't always hear R2, but sometimes R2 speaks. R2D2. Only this is like sometimes the female version of R2. All right, so we're gonna call it a wrap. That's pretty much all I have for tonight. There might be a little bit of after vlogs once I get back. So we have a change of plans. We're kind of moving stuff over. We were kind of doing like the Dallas, Fort Worth, or DFW, starting over as like a transition going from Dallas to Fort Worth to Dallas. So that was kind of the show. Then sometimes to the Speedway, which goes out to Texas Motor Speedway, which is basically way over off of North Lake. So it covered, I don't know, maybe a good 50-mile radius of vlogging. Mark IV Parkway is open. And we're passing it right there. I guess probably I'm not going to stop at Fuel City tonight. Gas right now is at $4.19, which is quite a bit. That's a lot right now. So we're probably just going to, I don't know, stop by maybe 7-Eleven and grab, I don't know, a treat. And then we'll head back and probably maybe do like a little quick thing or something. I don't know, maybe like show a snack that I'm making with Linda or whatever, something like that. I don't know. And then probably not going to be doing any internal vlogs of place of employment anymore. Linda's kind of talked me out of that, because I was doing internal vlogs. Like if you ever go back and watch Jordan the Lion's vlogs when he's at work, he's always like out front of work or like down the sidewalk. So he never really brought the show into his work. And also with Escaping the Mouse with Breck Roll, he does the same. He talks about work, or he's on the outside or away from work. So he doesn't bring the show into his work. And I did a little of internal vlogging, as I call it. So as I was working, you'd see like a shot of a bagel being sliced by an electronic bagel machine, electronic slicer, and things like that were just very physical, just showing the inside of a bakery for, like a second, or showing a bagel case. So she's kind of talked me out of that whole thing. And I kind of agree with maybe that kind of, a suggestion, advice. So that can be kind of bad, if you don't have much of a budget, if you don't have a producer. I don't know how many films actually show the producer. They do in a lot of cases, but usually the producer's like the star of the film. Like, Star is Born, it's Bradley Cooper was the producer, I think, one of the producers, and he's also the star. one of the writers, the directors, you know, but he doesn't have to worry about it because he's got a lot of studio money flowing into that, and I gotta like work and do this. So it might be a good idea for me not to do it, but yet the show kind of is surrounded by some form of work, which in this case was delivery. So all in all, I guess ultimately I'd have to show that, because then I wouldn't really, I don't have time to go to Six Flags for the day, $35, and just have a lot of fun at Six Flags. I'd like to, and maybe eventually if we get enough subscribers and enough, and I don't know about the Patreon, I gotta look into the whole Patreon thing. It seems like a whole additional thing where you get Patreon subscribers. I know now they're doing like super chats on live streams. So there's other ways, you know, you can make money. Plus you got PayPal connected to it. So if something comes up and I come across a little bit of money, then maybe we'll go to Six Flags or the Wax Museum or something, and, you know, spend the day using some of that money to have fun and vlog fun kind of stuff. And I'm really appreciative of my vloggers for putting up with some of this stuff, because not all times it's really a lot of fun. You know, you gotta sometimes make work fun, and you can't work for your entire life, although that would be nice, and some people do. Sorry about the Dutch angle. And some people do, you know, and that's kind of sometimes sad. You know, I was kind of a little bit angry last night when I was thinking about some certain writers. Like, I'm not mad at James Patterson or Stephen King. I'm not like mad at them, but they're really lucky that they get to wake up in the morning, read a bunch of stuff, and then write a bunch of stuff for like 8 hours, and then go on a long walk, and then come back and do a little bit more, and then go to bed. But that's cut and dry, all words, all words. You got to realize that you're going along with my struggle on this road that I'm on, this thing, and that's what you're seeing, you know. Imagine if Stephen King had a camera right there by his camera when he was writing Carrie a long time ago, or Tommy Knockers, you know. But there were no cameras. We just hear it. We hear about what he did while he wrote it. But I'm not saying that he really did that, but that's what he said. That's what he said in his book. So, but he recovered from that. But what I'm trying to say is that I guess I'm not really sitting at a typewriter, but there is transcript going on, and there's stories. I talk about squirrels, you know, I do a children's story on squirrels, you know, at times. So that's something. Anyway, we're gonna head back. I gotta stop by 7-Eleven. You know what I'm trying to say. One last thing I wanted to say about Columbo is I like Columbo. I think Columbo is a good story, but it's not always, you know, Tom Cruise Mission Impossible with Columbo. Peter Falk, you know, great actor. Really, really a great actor. One of our greatest actors, really, to be honest. He studied under Sanford Meisner, the acting teacher. Peter Falk did. Don't know a lot about Peter Falk, but I do know that he was a very great actor. And Columbo kind of had a feeling of just kind of moseying along, taking its time. But there's a really good plot structure, detective story. You get twisted into the, you know, the, I don't want to say Edgar Allan Poe, but he did do detective story kind of thing, you know. I'm not saying it's really that interesting, because all I do is pull up to a McDonald's and grab a bag and then drop it off at the doorstep at times. But there is more to it, because there's other people involved. Things change. We shift around. I talk about movies, and then we move on, you know. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. You're being vlogged.
Should be really, really good.
So that's all I have tonight.
Hi, I'm Linda. I'm a Scrub Show.
And so that's pretty much a wrap. I'm going to make some nachos.
Well, I might be moving.
Anyway, we're going to talk about that later another time. We may do some live streams coming up here. All the fans, I know that you got upset and y'all sent me a lot of comments about that you didn't know the live stream was going to happen. I'm going to try to figure out some kind of notification thing. My thing is hit the notification bell. That way you know when the next vlog will come up or if the live stream happens. But y'all have a good night. And please subscribe. Brought to you by Great Value Salsa Verde tortilla chips. I'm making nachos.
Donna. Forget Jeff.
Hi, and Life with Aaron, also Sweeties. Julie Smith. Who's the other one?
Julie Smith.
Oh, Evan Wilson. Her name Wilson. Evan Wilson.
I know everybody's name.
Anyway, all the people that are
Do you
subscribing.
remember your name?
Yeah. Anyway, everyone that's subscribing, all those people, whoever's watching,
I gotta give
we'll
them back massage.
we'll let you know. This is Salsa Verde. Anyway, y'all have a good night. So I wasn't going to talk about this, but this is actually a true story. Linda, did you want to go ahead and talk about it? This is true. This is not, we're not joking around. Go ahead, Linda.
All right, I lived in an apartment complex, and then I worked at Furs, and at the time, say 9 years ago, my coworkers laughed. I'm like, what are you laughing about? They're like, that's the apartments where they barbecued his girlfriend, chopped her up, and put her in the bathtub.
So this actually really did happen in Houston
Yes, it
area?
did.
It was
Yes,
Houston? Yeah.
Yes, off Red Oak Drive,
You
and
want
they
to stay
changed the
back this way
apartment.
because the light's over this way.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't
You're
do that.
basically walking where it's dark. Now, this has really happened. So Linda lived in this apartment complex in Houston. And you want to talk about it?
I didn't know the woman. I did go on Facebook and stuff, try to get a hold of her family and her situation. This is 9 years ago. She was a college student on a spring break.
Okay.
Barbecued her.
So you're saying
Chopped her up.
this really happened?
Yeah, it really happened.
I'm watching some Maddie Van Halen right here. Okay, so this really happened.
I did.
Yeah. And she lived, did you leave the apartment complex in Houston?
Yes, after 3 weeks. My
Okay.
grandma saved me.
So this made national news.
Yes, it did.
Okay, do you remember the name of it?
Red Oaks.
So this could be a possible vlog that we could maybe think about. We can get the photos or article. Linda could talk about being a resident at this complex. Now, didn't you didn't you live at another place where your grandma had to bail you out? Was this the same place? You were like in a flea
No,
trap?
that was the same place.
You did kind of what Ellen did. You lived in like a flea trap place where there were fleas?
Well, it was more about...
It's happened to Ellen DeGeneres, too.
And stuff, and I had 3 cats at the time.
She had 3 cats.
I had 3 cats at the time, and there was a bunch of fleas and bugs flying around and stuff. I just didn't feel comfortable, and then I got robbed twice. So I had sliding glass doors.
Because of the sliding glass door.
Sure.
Now, that was a different complex, right?
No, that's the same one.
In Houston?
Yep.
Okay, and this is the same one where the guy barbecued his girlfriend? Okay.
Correct.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I would say, like, it didn't make me feel safe. I didn't know about it. They should have told me about it. No,
So
seriously.
at the time, you didn't feel like the most
Well,
safe.
it was a $99 moving special. You get what you pay for.
Right. And this is happening in Houston, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you want to watch out if you're in Houston. It's way worse than Dallas and far worse than Fort Worth. Houston is not fun, right?
Oh, no, it's fine. Minus the humidity.
And people barbecuing.
Yeah, correct. And somebody's barbecuing
Other
outside
people.
right now.
When people are barbecuing other people. And what do you think? You think the dog stopped barking and all of a sudden someone's barbecuing. So what did you think about that?
We'll find out tomorrow.
So you're saying that
You have
there's
to get a
no
sense of smell
there's
better
no
than me.
dog barking, but you can smell barbecue.
Correct.
And you feel that the dog may be the target of that barbecue. Or at least the subject of the barbecue.
I really don't know.
Well, if it is, then that's cruelty to animals. They don't condone that. Now, if the dog was already dead, it's a possibility, but usually
Well,
in
like
most
I said,
cases...
I was telling Joanna from my old job that my dad shot the dog in the head.
What happened?
My dad. He
Your
shot his
father?
dog. Mm-hmm.
What happened to the dog?
He died. He
I
was
know
dying
that, but why would he be subject to an execution?
Because they didn't want to pay for the to put him in the.
Okay, so he was suffering.
Yeah.
That happens. Yeah.
Bolt.
That does happen at times if the dog is suffering.
But still, you don't.
So this
you
happened.
You don't shoot a dog in the head.
Linda experienced the famous incident of Houston. Do you remember the year? The guy barbecued his girlfriend. The year.
2000. I was there 2013, so I say 2012. It was within 1 year.
And that scared you.
But it scared me at the time because I didn't know about it.
How many years ago? And this really happened to Linda. It's there, so just give me a second. No, it's there. I saw it. Here it is. It's right here. Linda was not living there, but she lived. They didn't tell you about it, right?
Other news. We return today to a Northwest Harris County apartment complex where it is now believed Tanisha Stewart's ex-boyfriend
Is that it?
dismembered and burned her remains in 2 outdoor grills. Timothy Shepard has reported
that's
the
her.
theft and is
That's it?
I think so. Hold on.
Other news.
Is it Houston?
Reporter spoke to neighbors
she said
who have been watching his suspicious behavior.
It's bizarre because
It kept neighbors guessing for days.
I've never smelled anything like that in my life.
Is that it?
This smell and odor coming out of the now boarded up apartment.
Do you recognize it?
was
That's
a
it?
Mystery until now.
I never thought that, something like this could happen so close to home. I guess everyone does, but then, you realize you never know who your neighbors are.
There are no remaining body parts.
Okay, that's the complex?
I believe so.
27-year-old Tim Shepard confessed
and she
to
was 19.
strangling his ex-girlfriend, cutting up her body and burning it on 2 grills on his second-floor patio.
There
Harris.
There's the address.
That's Harris?
Yep.
Okay, it's Harris County is Houston?
Yes.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back,
Oh,
baby
God.
back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
It's an apartment
I
224.
want my baby back.
I lived in 124.
Oh, this is actually funny though. I watched some of
No,
that.
not funny.
So Johnny Depp
No, go back. Let me see the
is in it, and then also
No, go back.
his
to
daughter
the apartments.
Lily. But he's actually
Go back.
unrecognizable. That's
No,
actually
no,
Depp.
I've never watched
It
footage
just
of this.
goes by.
Can you please go back?
Oh man, I don't even know how to say the name. Yeah, I don't even know how to say the guy's name.
Of this woman.
Some weird name, Guy Poyton or something.
Can
Guy.
we go back, please? Can we go back, please?
If that was it, you sure that was it, or was there another
Yes, it was
case?
Red Oaks. That was her.
Yeah, it's right here. Homeboy Barbecue. Girlfriend, right there. That happened in.
15 years ago. I
50,
said
yeah.
2009.
I don't know if it's gonna come up anywhere else. If they're like the real report, that wasn't the real report.
But did it go back? That was the
I put in this.
17770 Red Oaks Boulevard.
I don't know if it's gonna come up that way. I'm just seeing if there's any other information that comes up.
I want to see the apartment again. Can you please do what I say?
Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Okay, there's other ways we can search it. We're trying to find a better article on it. I remember seeing it differently. So
1770 Red Oaks.
it was at 17700 at Red Oaks apartment, and the apartment number was 224. His name was Wayne something.
What was her name?
I'll have to look. His name was Timothy Wayne Shepard, and he was in Houston. It was a Red Oaks apartment complex, apartment number 224. Linda lived in that same apartment complex 2013, 2012, and 124. She lived underneath.
I think so.
Yeah, she lived in
What
a.
year was this?
It was apartment 224 where it happened.
What
She
year did
lived
she
in
pass away?
124.
What year did she pass away?
I don't know. I have to find out. Her name was Tanisha Stewart. His name was Timothy Wayne.
What year did she get barbecue?
I'm looking at it. But it happened in Houston at Red Oaks apartment 224. You lived in 124, but not at that very same time. And I wrote a play back in, I guess, maybe the turn of the century, 1990, called A Back Room with Jeff. It's a true story
You're not
about
answering the question.
drug addicts that are barbecuing other drug addicts in a back room. Call it A Back Room with Jeff. It's gonna be very difficult. Yes, I'm looking it up. I wrote this play, but I wrote it on the computer at the University of North Texas about something similar. But it had a jazz feel to it. These people in the back room barbecuing. I'm looking. The barbecue incident in Houston happened in 2007 to Tanisha Stewart. It was the murder of Tanisha Stewart. She got murdered and she was barbecued on the grill.
I thought it was like a year before.
In Houston at Red Oaks. In apartment 224 in 2007. Linda actually lived at that apartment complex, but she was in apartment 124.
I think.
She thinks. She was right below them. But the only thing is you, what year? You were there, 2012?
13, 14. Well, that sucks.
6 years later. You came in 6 years later.